Why we love to cancel. Have you ever wondered why cancel culture feels addictive? Why millions of people at the tap of a screen unite to destroy someone's career, reputation, or entire life? Here's the unsettling truth. We love to cancel because it makes us feel powerful. Yes, ordinary people, who often feel invisible in their daily lives, suddenly hold the power to ruin someone who seemed untouchable yesterday. That power rush, it lights up the brain like a dopamine hit. In that moment, you're not just scrolling. You're a judge, jury, and executioner, standing with the righteous side of history. And deep down, it feels good. But why? Why does bringing someone down make us feel lifted up? The answer isn't just about social media. It's buried deep in human psychology and the ancient instincts that ruled us long before Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram ever existed. And here's the real twist. Cancel culture says more about us than it does about the people we cancel. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the hidden forces inside your mind that crave moral superiority and how, if left unchecked, they can turn you into the very thing you claim to hate. The hidden drive, our need for control. Have you ever noticed how chaotic life feels? The news is unpredictable, jobs aren't guaranteed, relationships fail, and the world seems to shift overnight. In that chaos, what do we crave the most? Control. We want to feel like we matter, that our voice has weight in a world that often drowns us out. Cancel culture gives that illusion of power. For a moment, you're not a passive observer. You're in charge. You click retweet. You type a comment. You add your voice to the mob. And suddenly, you feel like you're shaping justice, restoring order to a broken world. But underneath that, there's something even deeper, our hunger for moral certainty. When we cancel someone, we get to feel like we're on the good side, the pure, righteous, unshakable side of morality. And that craving isn't new. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus warned us thousands of years ago. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Cancel culture thrives on opinion dressed as truth. We don't always care about facts. We care about certainty. The certainty that we are good and they are bad. But here's the danger. When our sense of worth depends on someone else's downfall, we lose control of the only thing the Stoics say we truly own, our mind. In a world where outrage sells, cancel culture isn't about justice. It's about us trying to soothe our fear of insignificance with a hit of power and superiority. And that's why cancel culture feels so good, because control is the drug we all secretly crave. What you'll learn about yourself today. Here's the truth. This video is not just about cancel culture. It's about you. It's about me. It's about the psychology that drives every single human being and how it quietly shapes our choices, our identities, and even our happiness. Because cancel culture isn't just some social trend. It's a mirror, a reflection of our deepest fears and desires. And if you dare to look closely, what you'll see is uncomfortable, but also liberating. By the end of this video, you won't just understand why cancel culture exists. You'll understand why we love outrage more than truth, why moral superiority feels so addictive, how your brain tricks you into joining the mob, and most importantly, how to break free from this trap and reclaim your inner peace. You're going to discover the subtle psychological forces like ego defense, tribal loyalty, and cognitive dissonance that make cancel culture thrive. And I'll share how Stoic wisdom, from Epictetus to Marcus Aurelius, gives us the tools to resist that pull, stay grounded, and control what truly belongs to us, our mind. Because here's the real secret. If you can understand the urge to cancel others, you can understand the urge to control, to dominate, to feel safe by bringing someone else down. And if you can see that clearly, you gain something rare in this world, self-mastery. So, if you've ever felt that rush when someone gets what they deserve, or the pressure to stay silent because the mob was watching, this video is going to open your eyes. Stay till the end, because what I share in the final section could literally change how you respond to every online controversy for the rest of your life. A story from ancient times, Marcus Aurelius versus the mob. Imagine this. Rome, 170 AD. The empire is in chaos. A devastating plague has swept through the cities. People are dying by the thousands. Fear grips the streets like a vice. And when fear takes hold, something dangerous happens. People look for someone to blame. The whispers start. It's the philosophers, the Christians, the foreigners. They brought this curse on us. Soon, whispers turn to shouts. Crowds gather in the forum. Anger burns in their eyes. They want justice, or at least something that feels like justice. And sitting at the very top of this storm is Marcus Aurelius, the emperor and a Stoic philosopher. The mob wants blood. They want someone to suffer. They want an enemy to destroy so they can feel safe again. Sound familiar? Different century. Same psychology. Cancel culture existed long before Twitter. Here's the incredible part. Marcus had the power to crush these people or join their anger. But he didn't. Instead, he wrote something in his journal, a line that still cuts through time. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. But I have seen the nature of the good, and it is my own. Marcus understood something that most people, even today, don't. The crowd's anger wasn't about truth. It wasn't about justice. It was about fear and ego. They were trying to regain a sense of control in a world that felt uncontrollable. That's exactly what cancel culture is, a desperate attempt to feel powerful in a reality that constantly reminds us how powerless we are. Marcus didn't fight their anger with more anger. He didn't rush to condemn or destroy. He stayed anchored in reason, in self-mastery. And in doing so, he became one of the few leaders in history remembered for wisdom, not tyranny. Now here's the question. When the digital mob rises today, are we any different from that crowd in ancient Rome? The psychology of the mob, why outrage feels so good. Let's be brutally honest for a second. Canceling someone feels good. Not because it's right, not because it fixes the world, but because, on a deep psychological level, it feeds our brain like a drug. Here's what's happening inside you when you hit that share button, leave that angry comment, or join the trending hashtag to take someone down. Number 1. Dopamine, the reward chemical. Every like, every retweet, every yes. You said it, comment sends a tiny surge of dopamine into your brain. It's the same chemical that makes you feel good when you eat your favorite food or win a game. Social validation is addictive, and cancel culture is designed like a casino, giving you micro-rewards for outrage. Number 2. Tribal instinct, us versus them. Humans evolved in tribes. For thousands of years, belonging meant survival. Being excluded meant death. So, our brains are wired to seek approval from the group and punish those who break the rules. Cancel culture hijacks that ancient instinct. When you join the mob, you're not just expressing an opinion. You're signaling, I'm one of the good ones. I belong. Number 3. Moral high ground, the illusion of power. Life feels uncertain. The world feels chaotic. But when you call someone out, suddenly you're in control. You're the judge, the jury, the executioner. For a moment, you feel morally superior, and that's intoxicating. Here's the catch. Outrage isn't about justice. It's about emotion. Your brain is rewarding you for something that doesn't actually solve the problem. It just makes you feel good for a few seconds, like junk food for the mind. Marcus Aurelius warned about this almost 2,000 years ago when he wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." Yet today, we call it justice when it's really revenge disguised as virtue. So ask yourself, are you canceling someone because you care about truth? Or because outrage gives you a rush of power you don't feel anywhere else? Fear and power, the twin engines of cancel culture. Cancel culture isn't just about outrage. It's about two primal forces that run your life without you even realizing it. Fear and power. Let's break them down. Fear. the terror of being cast out. From the moment we're born, one of the strongest survival instincts we carry is the need to belong. Our ancestors survived by staying within the tribe. If you were cast out, you died. Simple as that. Fast forward to today, and that instinct hasn't disappeared. When you see a mob canceling someone, there's a part of you that whispers, "Don't be next." That's why people pile on. Not always because they truly care about the issue, but because silence feels dangerous. Joining the outrage feels safe. You're signaling loyalty. See? I'm on your side. I'm one of you. Cancel culture thrives on this fear. It creates an invisible rule. Speak perfectly or be destroyed. And that fear keeps you in line. Power, the sweet illusion of control. The second engine is power, the seductive feeling of having influence, even if only for a few minutes. Maybe you don't have control over your job, your relationships, or your financial situation. But with a few clicks, you can take down a celebrity, a CEO, or someone with way more status than you. That power feels liberating because it gives you something life rarely does, the ability to punish someone and feel righteous while doing it. It's the perfect storm. Fear keeps you from speaking up against the mob. Power tempts you to join it. The Stoics saw this coming centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Cancel culture flips that wisdom on its head. It gives us the illusion of power over others while leaving us completely powerless over ourselves. And that's the truth no one wants to face. We cancel because we're scared. And we cancel because we want control. But in both cases, the strings are being pulled by something deeper, and we'll uncover that next. The cost of canceling, what it does to you. Here's a truth most people never stop to consider. When you cancel someone, you think you're hurting them. But in reality, you're hurting yourself. How your brain gets addicted. Cancel culture works like a slot machine. Every time you join a mob, like a post, or leave a scathing comment, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that fires when you win a game or take a bite of your favorite food. It feels good. So you do it again and again. Pretty soon, your brain starts craving that little hit of moral superiority like a drug. What happens when the outrage dies down? You feel empty, restless, waiting for the next scandal. And in that moment, you're no longer in control. You've been programmed. Empathy starts to die. The more you indulge in cancel culture, the more your brain shifts from understanding to attacking. You stop asking, "Why did this person make that mistake?" Instead, you jump to, "They deserve to suffer." When that becomes a habit, you lose one of the most powerful human qualities, empathy. And without empathy, relationships break. Communities fracture. Growth disappears. Your own freedom shrinks. Here's the ultimate irony. Cancel culture promises freedom, the freedom to speak truth to power. But in reality, it makes you more afraid to speak. When you've seen lives destroyed for a single mistake, you start censoring yourself. Every tweet you write, every thought you share, you wonder, what if they come for me next? So you stay silent. You hide your real opinions. You conform. That's not freedom. That's mental slavery. The Stoics warned about this thousands of years ago. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the power to choose your response." Cancel culture takes that away, because now you're reacting, not responding. And here's the most painful truth. When you live to destroy others for their flaws, you blind yourself to your own. And a person who cannot see their flaws can never grow. So the question is, are you willing to pay that price? The Stoic solution, control what you can, ignore the rest. Imagine this. The whole world is on fire with outrage. Social media is buzzing, hashtags are trending, and you feel the pressure to pick a side, speak up, or risk being seen as silent, and therefore guilty. But then you remember the words of Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic teachers. Some things are in our control, and some are not. This is the single most powerful antidote to cancel culture. What can you control? Your judgments, what you think about an event, not the event itself. Your actions, whether you join the mob or choose a better way. Your character, the values you live by, regardless of what the crowd is doing. Everything else, completely outside your control. You cannot control what someone tweeted 10 years ago. You cannot control how others will react. And you definitely cannot control what trends on Twitter tomorrow. So why waste your mental energy trying? The trap of the mob. When you give in to outrage, you hand over your piece to 1,000 strangers online. You become a puppet, dancing to the strings of algorithms designed to keep you angry. Epictetus would look at you and say, "Why are you enslaving yourself to opinions that aren't yours?" The Stoic approach is radical clarity. Ask yourself, is this in my control? If yes, act with virtue, fairness, and reason. If no, let it go. Immediately. A modern Stoic move. Next time you feel the pull to cancel someone, pause. Breathe. And ask, will this make me a better person? Will this bring justice in a way that truly helps society? Or am I just feeding my ego with borrowed outrage? When you choose virtue over vanity, you win. Because the truth is, cancel culture thrives on chaos. Stoicism thrives on order, reason, and self-mastery. And self-mastery is where real power lives. Practical, actionable steps to reshape thought patterns. How to stay strong without joining the mob. So now you know the truth. Cancel culture isn't just a social trend. It's a psychological trap. But how do you rise above it? How do you stay strong when everyone around you is screaming for blood? Here's the answer. Emotional resilience plus independent thinking. Step 1. Master the pause. The moment you see a viral scandal or a trending hashtag, your brain floods with dopamine and cortisol. Your instinct? React now. But power lies in the pause. Before you comment, share, or rage, stop and ask, do I really know the full story? Am I acting from reason or emotion? That 5-second pause separates the mob from the master. Step 2. Build inner certainty. Cancel culture thrives on insecurity. People join the mob because they fear being excluded or judged. The Stoic response? Anchor your worth in your character, not in public approval. Say to yourself, my value is not up for a vote. When you truly believe this, the noise of the mob loses its power over you. Step 3. Practice digital discernment. Not every headline deserves your outrage. Not every mistake deserves a life sentence. Learn to scroll with wisdom. Unfollow accounts that thrive on outrage. Follow those who bring reason, truth, and depth. Your feed shapes your mind. Curate it like your future depends on it. Because it does. Step 4. Lead with questions, not judgments. When the world rushes to cancel, choose curiosity instead. Ask, what really happened? Why do people feel this way? What can I learn from this? Questions open the mind. Judgment closes it. Step 5. Use the Stoic shield. Repeat this daily mantra from Epictetus. It's not things that upset us, but our opinions about them. When outrage comes knocking, guard your mind like a fortress. Opinions are not facts. Emotion is not truth. Stay calm. Stay clear. Stay free. Because the loudest voice in the mob is rarely the wisest. Turning awareness into power, build a mind no one can cancel. Here's the truth. Cancel culture is not the enemy. Your unexamined mind is. The outrage, the noise, the mob, they'll always be there. What matters is who you become in the middle of it all. Awareness is your superpower. Why? Because once you see the strings, you stop being the puppet. When you understand the psychology behind cancel culture, fear, validation, tribal instinct, you're no longer its victim. You can choose not to join the mob, just to feel included. Not to react with hate, just to feel powerful. Not to let fear dictate your values. This is how you build a mind no one can cancel. 1. Anchor to principles, not popularity. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire and faced mobs, critics, and slander daily. His response? If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. When you live by principles instead of public opinion, no mob can shake you. 2. Train your emotional muscles. Every time you resist the urge to react, you grow stronger. Every time you respond with reason instead of rage, you build mental armor. This is discipline, and discipline is freedom. 3. Make awareness your default state. The world will never stop trying to provoke you. Your job? Stay conscious. Notice the emotion. Name it. Then choose your response, not your reflex. Imagine this. While others drown in outrage, you walk with calm certainty. While others seek approval, you move from inner strength. While others cancel, you create. That's the ultimate flex in a world of noise, to remain unshakable. Because in the end, the goal isn't to win the mob. The goal is to master yourself. And when you do, you become untouchable. You become unstoppable. You become uncancelable. The final word on cancel culture and your power. You've just taken a deep dive into one of the most powerful forces shaping our world, cancel culture. But here's the truth. The real battleground isn't online, it's in your mind. Cancel culture thrives on fear, outrage, and the need for validation. It manipulates emotions, controls narratives, and punishes imperfection. But you've seen through the game. And now you have a choice. You can join the mob, chase likes, and live in fear of being next. Or you can rise above it. You can become the person who doesn't bend to trends, who doesn't need approval, who lives by principles that can't be canceled. Marcus Aurelius faced mobs. He faced criticism. He faced lies. And yet he wrote words that still stand thousands of years later. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That's your blueprint. Cancel culture has no power over someone who knows who they are and what they stand for. So the next time the internet erupts in outrage, stop. Take a breath. Ask yourself, am I acting from fear or from strength? Because the truth is, you can't control the mob, but you can control your mind. And when you do that, you become uncancelable. If this message hit home, don't just click away, own it. Subscribe for more Stoic psychology and mindset mastery. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth. Drop a comment. What's your biggest takeaway? Your mind is your empire. Guard it well.